everyone, welcome back to Rants and Bants, WJ's official entertainment podcast brought to you by The Pitch, and I'm your host, Rowan Burhead. So, if you guys tuned into last week's episode, you'll know that I was doing like TV show reviews, not TV show reviews, but more so like me ranting about them, because you can tell the title, ranting and banter is kind of my thing. But and last time was a bit long, so I'm not gonna go on for that long. But just because like Grey's Anatomy is like, that show has 18 seasons, so I think me going on for an hour is enough. But I think I'm going to talk about a show that is, like, to me, the best show of all time. And if anybody wants to argue, like, that's fine. If anybody wants to go and like say it's a kid's show and blah blah blah, don't piss me off. This show is arguably, not even arguably, it is, because I said so, the best show of all time. And we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender today. Listen, anybody who knows me knows I have an unhealthy obsession with this show. I think I started watching it when I was like 4, and I still watch it to this day. Before it came out on Netflix and stuff, I bought it all on iTunes, and I used to watch it every single day. It's still an obsession. I'm not gonna kid you. That I was also gonna talk about The Legend of Korra today, but I just felt like I'm gonna reserve that for another episode, just because it would be a little too much, and my feelings about The Legend of Korra, they're a little deeper, because people hate on The Legend of Korra for no reason. But like I said, that's for another episode, so I'm gonna relax. So when I was talking about Grey's Anatomy, I didn't really go much into like the plot, so I'm not gonna go into the plot of the show. I'm just gonna give like my overview of like the characters and stuff like that. If you want an overview of the plot, search it up. Wikipedia exists. So sorry. So like I said, just like for Grey's Anatomy, I did not rewatch the show to get like my view of it all over again. I'm going off basically just on like pure muscle memory. And also I can remember, like, I think the last time like I watched an episode was like a week or two ago. So like, because this show, like, I don't think you understand, like, even when I introduce myself to people and they're like, oh, like, what's 3 facts about yourself? Like, the first fact I say is I can talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender until I'm blue in the face. So like, I don't really know what y'all want me to do. Like, I'm just, this is my show, basically. Like, from now on, when people think about Avatar: The Last Airbender, think of me. If you don't know what my face looks like, look for me in school. I live for the show. Like, if there was, like, I would not exist in a world where this show doesn't exist. I don't think you'll understand. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let's actually get into this show. So let's go into the characters. The first character is Aang, and I don't know why I paused like that just right now. I don't know why I paused like that, because Aang is like, I think I don't really have a character which I hate on the show, which is kind of funny. Like, there's no character that I hate, except for like the obvious like antagonists, but like I don't hate any of them. I love each and every one of them. I'm not gonna talk about side characters here. I'm really only gonna talk about the characters that matter. So like, there's obviously gonna be like a side character which I can stand, but I'm not gonna talk about them right now. I'm talking about like the main cast. Now, when I think of Aang, the first thing I think about is like, I don't know, he just represents my childhood more than the rest. Like, obviously the show represents my childhood, but like, he's goofier than everybody else, and like the stuff that he had to, like, I don't know, like, I'm not gonna really go into his plot, like the plot lines and like how that made him because I'm expecting you guys know about this show. If you guys don't, watch it. It's fun. It's animated fun. It's a good time. And if you have a problem with that, like, you you suck. I don't really know how to explain that. Like, you're not fun at all. But like this show, the thing with Aang, I don't think there's anything that he's done. Like, all of these characters, by the way, they've obviously done something wrong in their life, and they've obviously like annoyed me. But like at the same time, I'm like, yeah, every wrong move was deserved. Like, I know people who like were upset that he ran away. Like, hello, they were gonna ship him off. Major spoiler alerts. My bad. Major spoiler alerts. I'm telling you here. I'm gonna add that later on. Like, major spoilers. But like basically, they were gonna ship this little boy away because he was building bonds. Because he had really strong bonds with his home. Like, and I understand like you know, he's the avatar and da-da-da, and you know, it's just like he needs to be like, what was it? He needs to train better and blah 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 blah. They would have to send him off, but I mean, they decided to send him, and he ran away before they could send him off, and then the whole Airbender race gets like destroyed, and then there's like, you know, the Airbender genocide and da da da. Now, even like the thing, okay, I just remember that scene where they went back to his Airbender, like his home, and they found nothing. They found like skeletons and dead bodies. Why would you show that to little kids? Like, looking back, like it did not traumatize me. Like, I'm not traumatized at all, but like, why would you show dead bodies to little kids? I feel like I mean, obviously he needs to know if they were dead, but I just feel like some stuff could have been avoided. I don't know how we could like I don't really know how. There's no way that he would have understood though if he didn't see those dead bodies. Like, if Aang didn't see those dead bodies, not even dead bodies, by the way, skeletons, because mind you, it's been 100 years. Oh no, like I'm really trying to see something that's like the only thing I was kind of like because now like I'm watching it, it's like a 17-year-old, and I watch that scene, I'm like, how did 4-year-old Meron just watch that and like not say anything? Like, I don't know what that, like, I didn't cry to my parents. I just absorbed it and I moved on. Like, there's for a kids show, it has like really dark themes, and I think that's why I'm kind of like the complexity, because I love complex, I love morally gray, like I love all of those. So for it to be going like in and out like that, I don't mind. What is there something about Aang that he like annoys me and he pisses me off? Like, there's nothing about him, like he's never done anything wrong in his life. Like, there's nothing about Aang that he's done in his life to piss me off. So whenever somebody says something about him, like, they're like, oh, and I don't like him, and like, be quiet, like no one cares. Let me tell you something. Oh, and what was it? And they're like, oh, he's like a little too goofy. He's literally 12 years old. So like, when you think about that to yourself, like, what? That's a child. They're all children. Don't piss me off. Like, you're really gonna get on my nerves right now. But where is something like, I remember like there was this one time, the only thing sometimes he would just get on my nerves about, and maybe this is because I'm going to just settle this issue right here, right now. So there's always this conversation about Aang and Katara and Zuko. I just don't remember what the Aang and Katara name is, but I know the Zuko and Katara ship name is Zutara. I don't like Zutara at all. Why are you shipping Zuko and Katara? That's something that I'm going to talk about a little later. But I don't ship Aang and Katara either, just because, you know, but it always goes in and out, because I'm like, best friends to lovers, obsessed boy, I like that. But then sometimes I'm like, that you guys could have just served as best friends. I don't know who I want a Katara to end up with. I just know it's not Zuko, because Zuko deserves to be with May. Now, like I said, I'm going to get into Zuko and Katara a little later. But I don't know if I ship Katara and Aang. Oh, no. I don't know why, because I used to be like a hardcore like Aang Katara, but now I'm watching it again. I'm like, I just felt like, no, but she was in love with him too. Like, you know what? Like, I don't know what to say. But at the same time, Katara and Jet, you cannot fake that kind of chemistry. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? You can't fake that kind of chemistry. And I don't know what it is. Like, I don't want to say, because I have so many feelings about Zutar. Like, I hate people who ship that ship. Like, you guys are just dumb. But like I said, I'm gonna get to that later. That's okay. What are some? Maybe it's because like I'm really trying to figure out something to say about Aang, because I love him, but he is just not my favorite. But I love him, but he's just not my favorite. I think I liked him more because like later on in The Legend of Korra, like the nostalgia was just like, oh, I love Aang, but I'm just failing what to see. But I think Aang is like me. I think he's like the perfect type of like peace and chaotic. But the only thing is like he doesn't choose violence. I choose violence and everything. I think violence is the answer for everything. With me, I don't know. Like, do I think? Oh, at the end. A lot of people are like, oh. Because I see a lot of people that are just like, oh, you guys are wrong every time. He should have killed Fire Lord Ozai. For 3 seasons, this little boy has chosen peace. This little boy has chosen not to kill. But you think at the last moment he's going to just change his character? Don't be stupid. That's the perfect thing that could have happened. And I love like the inclusion of spirits and stuff like that. I wish they could have like, I don't know, but I mean, like, they kind of started talking more about spirits, like The Legend of Korra, so they didn't really give that much in Avatar: Last Airbender, so I think that's, like, totally fine. There's really nothing I can talk about Aang. I think I'm going to talk about Aang a little later. Let me come back to him, because I just don't know anything about him. I really forgot. Now, this is my real favorite. Like, I don't know what it is about. I'm going to just save my girls for a little later. I'm just going to get the guys out of the way. Sokka, please. Oh my god, like everybody talks about Zuko's character development, but nobody talks about Sokka's character development, and that pisses me off. Just because he went from a real douche, like I really couldn't stand him in season 1. Like I'm so sorry. Like in book 1, I really wanted to slap him several times, but actually for a few episodes, like the first like 3 episodes, I was just kind of like, oh, you so annoying. Like, every time you open your mouth, you get on my nerves. No, Sokka, he developed perfectly. Like, you can't make that kind of, like, development up. Like, oh my gosh, it was written perfectly. He was a douche. Everybody forgets about how much of a douche he was. Like, he was he was just rude. Like, he sucked. And my man, he just, I don't know. He's just kind of a little perfect. He's just a little perfect for me. I'm so sorry. But one, he's smart. Like nobody, like he's just a brilliant little guy. Like he's brilliant. Like you can't even make that kind of thing up. And first of all, one thing about Sokka, he's gonna pull every single girl that he sees. Like he literally pulled the moon. Are you dumb? Don't ever play Sokka in his face. Literally pulled the moon. Can you pull the moon? You can't. You can't. So don't ever speak on him without a little bit of respect. From now on, when you refer to Sokka, refer to him as Sir Sokka. Don't ever play him in his face, and especially in my presence. Now, have I even said like other than his character development, like why I like him? No. The only thing is like sometimes like I've been like no, there's really nothing about him that pissed me off. Like I don't know. Like all these characters have pissed me off in some way, but I just can't recall it right now, just because I love them so much. Like my hate for them is just non-existent. Like there's like, you know how like you sometimes like your favorite characters, you just like sometimes you just get irritated. Like there's nothing about these characters that makes me mad. Absolutely nothing. Like they've done nothing wrong. It's like Christina Yang. Maybe they've done something, a little, deal with it. Like they've never done anything wrong in their life, to my recollection. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to say. One thing though, yeah, there's nothing. I just don't know anything good to say. Let's move on to. I know I said I'm gonna save the girls for last, but I really need this to be a productive point. Katara. Now, Katara is one I remember everything about her. Like, Katara. Like, can I just say this real quick? Katara is better than me. Katara is so much better than me, because if I had the power of bloodbending, whoa, you guys will never ever play with me ever again. Like, first of all, like, for her to go as far as banning it in Republic City, like, and it basically became like, it was outlawed, and it basically became like forgotten just because like not a lot of people possessed it, and even if they did, they just don't use it because it's not right. Like, I'm putting that in quotation marks. If I had the power of bloodbending, y'all will never. Oh my god, yeah, she's definitely a better woman than me. But this is what I'm saying. Like, another, like, a really dark point. Like, the whole thing behind the whole, like, murder behind Sokka and Katara's mom is actually, like, insane. Just because, like I said, this is a kid show, but they incorporate, like, so many dark things. That's what I'm saying. Like, it works for, like, you don't have to be a kid to watch the show. You can be older and watch the show too, just because it has so many themes from, like, actual, like, real life, so it works. But yeah, their mom's murder, and the reason, like, as to why she was murdered, and she was protecting Katara because the Fire Nation, they were looking for waterbenders, and basically the mom gave her up so her daughter could be safe. And Katara and Zuko going and finding the mom's murder. See, like, if I found my mother's murder, like, do not expect to hear from me. She just let him go. I mean, she scared him. I think that's also, like, it shows to a point, like, sometimes it's just about closure. Like, I think she needed closure the entire time, and she was focusing that hate all onto Zuko. So this is what leads me to my Zutara rant. Katara literally hated Zuko up until, like, what was the Southern Water, like, what was it? The Southern Water Raiders or something. That was the episode name. Those were like 3 episodes until the show was over. You can't say, oh, that was tension, oh, that was enemies to lovers. Move! Because no, it wasn't. She hated him, and he just did not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to be her friend. Like, no. Maybe it's because I am, like, number 1 Zuko Mei shooter. Like, I am the Zuko Mei defender. I will defend them with everything in me. What? And you want to ship with Katara? Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Don't get on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves a lot right now, because that doesn't even make any sense. How do you sit there and ship these two knowing that they don't like each other like that? Like, and then people want to talk. People can't care for their friends. I will literally deny, even if they were about to kiss right then and there, I would deny everything about Zuko and Katara, because I just don't like them together. I don't like them together. I haven't liked them since I've never liked them. I remember when I was a kid and people used to ship them. I did not like them when I was a kid. I don't like them now. I'm not gonna like them when I watch this as an adult. I don't like it. I just no. I refuse. I'm like, no. Just it's just nasty. Like, I just no. Also, a lot of people hate on Katara, and because they think she's annoying because she always brings up her mother's death. Now, maybe I was dramatic when I said I don't hate them for anything. I don't hate her for this. I also just wanted to point out that she was kind of irritating. Like, I mean, she wasn't, but you know what? At the same time, like, you know what? I'm gonna have to I contradict myself a lot here, so don't think. If you listen to the show and then you come up to me and then you say, "Oh my God, Maroon, like, what were your opinions?" I'm going to listen to myself. And I'm gonna be like, I agree with myself with that at the moment, but these aren't my concrete ideas. Like, nothing here is concrete. But sometimes she would annoy me too. But sometimes I'm like, yeah, deserve, because who was doing the cooking and cleaning, raising the children, feeding these babies in that water tribe? until she was like, how old is she? 14 years old. Don't piss me off. Like, Katara can do, yeah, like I said, she can do no wrong. Anyways, that's what I have for Katara. Toph Beifong, my sister. Like, Toph Beifong is actually the reason I am who I am today. I love Toph Beifong more than I love anything on this earth. Like, oh, Merlin's a fictional character. So, what does this being fictional have to do with anything? What is this? First of all, one thing about Toph, like, she's just my sister. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, that's my blood. Like, how do you want me to say this other than like that's really my girl? Like, she could set the world on fire, I would defend her. Like, oh my god, you know what she is? She is my Christina Yang in the show. Like, Christina Yang could also set the world on fire, I will defend her with my whole chest. Toph Beifong could do whatever she wants, I will support and defend her. She could literally be Fire Lord Ozai in disguise, I would defend her. I'm so sorry. I have no morals when it comes to real women. I have no morals. I'm so sorry. No, because she's sarcastic. First of all, who made up who started a whole subgenre of earthbending? Who did that? Toph Beifong. Did anybody else? No. Metal bending from literally just stomping on metal. My sister figured it out. She's actually brilliant. And if you ever want to deny it, if you ever want to say anything about my sister being like anything other than a genius, like, she's blind. Like, she's blind and she's doing things that people who can see can't do. She literally feels the earth. Like, don't piss me off here. Like, I will just, yeah, there's something I can say other than that's really my real woman. The only thing that with this whole show, like, if I haven't read any of the comics, I know what kind of happens, but like, I haven't really read any of the comics, but like, I've skimmed over like summaries. So there's so many things that have been left like they haven't really talked about. Like, they left it kind of like open-ended in the show, but like they kind of expanded in the comics. Like, one day when I'll read the comics, I'll come back and I'll tell you guys what I think about that. Because there's so many things like Zuko's mom, Toph's parents, and things like that. Like, how she kind of reconnected with them and everything. But yeah. Now we've gotten to Zuko. Listen. My best firebender boy. Like, you can never ever say anything. My little meow meow. Like, you can never say anything about Zuko, like anything bad about Zuko, and then you expect me to defend you. It will never happen. I fear it will never happen. Like, that's really my king. I don't know what you want me to say. And you know who my king deserves to be with? May. Yeah. So, what do you expect? But there is also something that, like, about Zuko. I love him to death, but there's just some things that he just irritates me with. Like, there's something that he irritates me with. Like, that boy has been, like, he just makes me more emotional than anybody else in the show. Like, his character development is, like, his and Sokka's character development is so perfect. And, like, where Sokka makes me proud, Zuko's also makes me proud. And, like, it just makes me happy. Like, both of theirs makes me, like, really happy. But there's just, like, something closer with, because I think we know about Zuko's character development. But it just makes me, like, some emotional. I think you could tell that, like, you can tell that he was always going to switch sides. Like, I mean, if you were watching that from book one, not from the first episode, but, like, when he and his uncle got separated. I'm going to talk about Iroh in a second, because Iroh is, like, my favorite person of all time. But when he got separated from his uncle, and then he kind of like trekked on his own, and then he went into like the Earth Kingdom town, and basically he's, you know, and we see his like backstory. Like you could tell that his mother had like a really big influence, and he was going to grow up to be very like morally gray. Like he was gonna kind of have like a shift, because you cannot have someone as evil as your dad but someone as good as your mom, and not kind of have like that imbalance. So I don't, so because sometimes like it's really weird to say like Zuko's all the way like he has like good morals. Sometimes I do think that like he struggles a bit, but then I'm kind of like because the Fire Kingdom is extreme. The Fire Nation, my bad, that's a kingdom. The Fire Nation is extreme, so I don't think he can actually sit about and think. I mean, I think he just like kind of got over it. I think that's like the better way to say it. Like instead of he still believes in that, I think he just separated himself like better. But yeah, because like his mom Iroh, like he has those influences. There's no way he's gonna actually grow up to be like Azula or his dad. Evil people. But I'm gonna talk about Azula, because sometimes I have a little bit of a problem. So on to Azula. In Azula, I really consider her my main character. Like, now I don't know if this is gonna piss people off or if it's gonna like make people say, "Oh my god, you too." I love Azula. I'm so sorry. I love unapologetically crazy women. Huh? Yeah. I'm really sorry. I love crazy women. I think crazy women are perfect for me. I think this is also a thing. Like, I think I've said it. If you are a bad person, like she's a bad person. Like there's nothing to say. She's a bad person. You can't like, but that's kind of like how she was raised and everything. Like bad people are bad people because of how they were, like not because of how they're raised, but in shows, like in fiction, that's usually just what it portrays. You never really see people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never actually seen someone who's like raised by like good people and turn out like terrible in fiction. But yeah, like you have like a tragic backstory like hers, an evil daddy, and a mom who doesn't really love you as much. You kind of just, you know, but the thing is, she's unapologetically that, like she knows who she is, until the last episode where she kind of, you know, she slipped a little bit. But like I don't need a redemption arc for every single character. Like Zuko's redemption arc was something that was been in development since the first season. Hers wasn't. So for people to come back and say, "Oh, we want a redemption arc," we want, like, what? Just because she was starting to break down? No, that's just because she's having a little bit of a crisis. A little bit of power has been put onto her, and now she's kind of losing it. She's slipping. But I love crazy women. Like I think, yeah, in fiction, I love crazy women. Like I'm so sorry, I love them. I don't like crazy men. I love crazy women and non-binaries. I love them so much. I think, like, oh my god, I think I'll have like a whole episode on that. Like I don't need a redemption arc for them. I think it's ridiculous. Uncle Iroh, his storyline is the saddest of them all, and I don't think people pay attention to them. That stupid song is played, and we all know the ones I'm talking about. Like, I forget right now what the name was. I'm so sorry. But that song is just so evil. And like the one that he played for his, you know, is his son. He's remembering his son's death, and he started playing one of his songs that he used to play for his son. It's so just, that was the worst thing of my life. I was breaking down crying every single time I see it. I think it's the only one that can actually bring me to tears. Maybe it's also because like I resonated with like my own personal loss, people I've lost, and I just think of that and it just makes me sob. So it's very heartbreaking, heartwarming, but literally makes me want to lose it. So yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm kind of thinking. I'm like, oh my god, why would they do that? Who is someone else that I love? I'm gonna talk about my girls. May. May is also like, that's the thing. As like Azula, May, and Ty Lee, they represent everything that I love in female characters. Like I think all of this, like this entire show, they really represent something I love about female characters. But like, they kind of showed me something more. May just being like my favorite goth baby. I love her to death. I don't know a better woman. Oh my god! Wait, and like, she has little daggers. Are you dumb? You think I'm gonna actually like not be obsessed with her? And Zuko, May, Endgame, I know they don't really become like kind of like, I don't know what it was, they broke up or something in the comics. Maybe that's why I didn't read the comics. I can't bear to see that, because why would you give me their Endgame, so we think, in the show, and then we're gonna separate them when we get to the comics? Like, sometimes things just need to make sense. 1 + 1 = 2. Here, that equaled 4. So you see how I'm kind of in distress? Yeah. Ty Lee breaks my heart. I don't know what it is about her, my little meow meow. Like, she just, I don't know. Like, there's just, when she ran away from home and joined the circus because she was a quote unquote freak, I wanted to jump to the screen and give her a hug, because that's really my sister. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, nobody really deserves her. My princess. You know, that's what I was looking for, the words for Tyler. Like, she's literally my princess. Like, my cute heart, my sweetheart princess. You know who else is my princess? Suki. Suki is literally my princess. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to say. And then that's really my girl. Like, my girl. Like, I don't even have anything. Suki's whole like thing, it just makes me laugh. I know, like, you know what I'm thinking of right now? Like, I know people are gonna come and like, people in real life are gonna be like, oh my god, you like Azula. Like, I love Azula. Like, I know we're talking about Suki right now, but I really can't think of anything for Suki. Like, Azula gave me psycho, like an actual psychopath. I love psychopathic fictional women. I don't know what you want me to do. I eat it up every time. I do. I really do. I eat it up in fiction, in books. I mean, and like fictionally, like books, movies, TV shows. Like, I love psychotic women. Like, but it has to make sense. Sometimes the psychotic women, they don't make sense, and that's when I have to switch it off. Azula, she makes it look good. So I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah. She eats it up every single time. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you're gonna say. So, and then special shout out, if you thought I was gonna leave them out, because these people matter more than everybody else. Appa and Momo carry the entire show. They're actually my favorites. There's nobody else who I would actually give my favorite character trophy to if it's not Appa or Momo. Appa and Momo are literally my favorite. They carry this entire show. Appa literally carried the show on his back. Actually, he literally did. He literally carried this show on his back. Every single scene with them was perfection. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to do. So, and I just wanted to say, for my favorite side characters, you know, I'm really trying to wonder if I have any favorite side characters. I think I love Boomy. Not the son, the king. Boomy is one of my favorite side characters. I love crazy old men too. I'm so sorry. But like, and funny. You need to be funny, crazy old men. Like, you can't be funny. Speaking of crazy old people, I love the twins from the Fire Nation. I just forget their names right now. But the ones where, like, Azula's ladies. If you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. If you don't, I don't. They're not crazy. They just gave me a lot of fun. I found them very funny. I found them very hilarious. I was laughing the whole time, every single time they were in a scene. And I wish they put a scene with them and Boomy in a scene together. I don't know how that would have happened, but I wish they found a way. Another one of my favorite side characters, I love He's not even a side character. Like, I wouldn't even give him guess. I don't even know his name. That's how much I don't care. But forget it. But yeah, there's really, if you guys thought this was a waste of your time listening to this, you'll be alright. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this. I think next episode I might do a The Legend of Korra rant. I might not. I don't know yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed this and tune in to next time. Okay, thank you. Bye.